Hello there, here, and we are back with Cupid. Oh, this is so awesome. The second candle is lit. I'm so excited to read it again. This part, I already love it so much. Anyway, yeah, let's continue playing the game, shall we? So basically, yes, there's 4 candle, and we have already lit 2 of them. The fourth is optional, but basically either 3 or 4, right? Star. Its name is Philia, the love for friends. The yellow candle shone and danced with her breath. Let this candle burn until its wick is spent. Encourage friendship, bring forth memories. Let me walk in his house without any suspicion. Let me rummage through his belongings invincibly. His journal. He guards his journal fiercely. Yeah, I must find it. Oh, lovely. I'm pretty sure we are going to die somehow. I don't know. Hello? I'm supposed to click? Yes. Oh. Rosa adjusted her coat as she sat on one of the reserved seats. Reserved seats? The theater was packed, the air buzzed with excitement. She hadn't expected this many people would come tonight. Oh, yeah. Oh, mother, I wish they would stop staring at me. Wait, you are performing? Really? And why not? This was MDM, Catherine Perrett's first solo concierto. This is before. Alright. Her name had been slowly gathering recognition the past few years. It was feasible to accept a full house. Still, the turnout was more than they had expected. Paris had taken Rosa and Catherine by surprise. Oh, you two are in Paris. The sheer number of people and their liveliness were well above the usual sights of their small town. My condolences for being in Paris, by the way. Oh wait, are all of you French? My condolences again. Catherine was obviously thrilled with the opportunity to play in such an esteemed venue for her debut. Rosa tried her best to keep her anxiety under control. Yeah, you can do it. You both can do it. This was for Catherine. Yes, for her. This was her night. Rosa took a deep breath and realized it slowly. It relaxed her. I hope the show starts soon. Rosa's eyes drifted towards the stage and then to the throng of people gathered on her far left. In the middle of the huddle stood a familiar shape of a man. Guillaume? As usual, the guy. He had his back to her, but the posture and the build were unmistakable. That is Guillaume. Her heart made a sudden gleeful jump. Oh. She was delighted that he had made it to Catherine's show. He had been traveling extensively recently. What if she walked over and made sure? Guillaume would greet her kindly. She was sure Catherine would be thrilled to know he was here, and cut, why? Uh-huh. Rosa pondered for a bit, reminded of a sudden winds of pain. Ah. Soon the master of ceremonies obliged people to take their seats. Sudden winds of pain? What do you mean? Guillaume turned around and walked toward her. Oh, alright. He stopped midway and took a seat without noticing her presence, no. Rosa seemed deep in thought. What's wrong, sweetheart? Is something bothering you? No, nothing, mother. Don't lie to me. Mm-hmm. I just didn't expect to see him here, that's all. Oh, I see. Is it the same problem? It is the same problem, isn't it? Does Guillaume's presence upset you? Are you worried about Catherine now that he's here? What? Worried about Catherine? Why? This is interesting. That filthy man again. I'm sure Catherine will be pleased. Whatever will she think now that her lover is back? So they are dating now. I bet she would rather spend all her time with him as usual. Is this far away from Emily's death? My poor darling. Always running after a star. I wonder how long until she is tired of you constantly tagging along. Oh no, you are worried. You brag to me that you share everything like sisters. Does that include Guillaume too? Oh, you are making your life so complicated, darling. Why do you even bother yourself with these people? Yeah, you have standard, Rosa. A professional have standards. Ignore Willemme. It is obvious he's never going to look at you. It is obvious she will abandon you. Oh no, not Catherine, this guy. Do you like being so miserable? It saddens me to see you like this. Oh, is that lagging I think a little. He has eyes only for Catherine. Yeah, indeed, eyes only for Catherine. Must you always impose your presence like a little dog? Mother, why do you say eyes only for Catherine when you know how Guillaume is? Like, Emilia, and then Catherine, and then a lot of people, English poet, some English poet, and a mother and her daughter? Both at the same time? It's not like that, mother. We are friends. Friends. Darling, friendship is nothing but shallow kind of relationship. What? People change friends as easily as the weather. Ah. You don't even remember the friends you make at a certain age. That's fucking different, mother. You know that when I'm at the certain age, I'm fucking stupid. Like you right now. Friendship do not last. Family is more important. Well... Why? Family is more... Bad message? Good message. I'm not sure. Family is more important. I'm the only one who will care for you forever, darling. A mother's love will endure. This bond can never be broken by time or absence. Magic, is it? Family lifts you up. It is. It is kind of lagging. What is happening? Wait, I have to check some stuff. I think I did something wrong, didn't I? Oh well, it's probably because I opened my browser to upload a video. Family lifts you up. It saves. Of course you feel this way, you see them often. But when you lose touch, you're left with nothing but a collection of strangers. And believe me, my dear, they will leave. They always leave. You amuse them now, but soon they will abandon you too. Rosa's tongue felt bitter in her mouth. She was filled with annoyance for her mother. Wasn't happiness as fleeting as friendship, yet it was not any less real than sadness. Yes, family was important. This familial bonds kept her from losing herself. It was her rock, her foundation. But were these bonds the only constant value? These friends. These were people who accepted her. Oh. They shared laughter and tears, their own regrets and dreams. In her heart, she had found a home with them. What more was needed? Rosa's confused feelings began to arrange themselves neatly in her mind. Guillaume and Catherine's happiness was important to her. That was the main thing. She knew they felt the same way for her. Do they? Her insecurities were real, but they were insignificant. If anything, they were bittersweet. I'm pretty sure Catherine, the old Catherine and the old Emilia will. But some sort of bad influences, perhaps. Isn't that right, Guillaume? She had no regrets. For the first time in her life, she wanted to talk back to Mother. Oh no. She bit her lip, quelling the nerves as she opened her mouth to speak. I know that. What? I know that Catherine matters more to him than I do. I know they might abandon me one day for whatever reason. It might be today or next year. Or even sooner. Yeah. Oh, I can apply. Oh, there we go. Perfect? Yeah, I guess that's perfect for my model. Or even sooner. But that doesn't matter in the long run. I am happy with that. We've had years together that I will treasure. Like I treasure memories of you two, Mother. My memories of you keep me sustained. That That is why I love you. The years we spend together, no matter how fleeting, are still worth something. So let me care for them right now. Everything changed, but nothing is lost. Rosa was sure she had read it somewhere. Rosa waited for Mother to answer with a vicious voice to burst out screaming at her chickeness. But no voice came. Rosa smiled to herself. The lights dimmed. A low hush descended on the pews. Soon Catherine entered, clad in the loveliest gown and an even lovelier smile. Oh, she was beautiful, she belonged on the stage. The light shone on her, but they paled in comparison to her radiance. God damn, are you using like glow paint? I'm sorry, Catherine. Catherine bowed to the audience and took a seat in front of the piano. She began to play. Nice. Am I supposed to click or... Okay. Rosa gripped the handle of her seat. She felt surge of emotion with every note. A kind of energy passed through her, touching her skin and making her... What? Her break into goosebumps. What the fuck? I didn't expect it to change to this. What the fuck? Okay, epic. Oh, Catherine. Rosa didn't know of such an effect before this moment. Music that could strike the heart as if it was fiddling with the soul. It was different from practice, different from when she was performing in front of smaller groups. This was a stage, and here was a woman with strings. She was hugging the right keys, touching your heart and electrifying your soul. Rosa realized she wasn't alone in this feeling. The whole room was mesmerized. She looked at the lady beside her. She had her hand to her open mouth. A teardrop dangled precariously on her eye. The man to her left seemed to have forgotten to blink. Rosa beamed and suffered a rush of kinship with them. They were experiencing the same emotions with her. It made her love them just a little bit. Rosa closed her eyes and savored the night. Oh. A bit of sweat fell from Catherine's chin. She was out of her body now? What? Wait, I'm trying to understand. Her stress from the beginning of the show had thawed and turned into passion. Oh, I see. I thought she is, like, passed out. It ran down her fingers to the keys. Fainted, not passed out. It did not escape Catherine's notice that most people in the crowd came to the show to go get her. Catherine Pirate, the one that the infamous Marcus de Gaulle had been courting for years. Didn't he pay for this event? Lucky bro. Oh, I see. Catherine Pirate. I heard she was some pianist. Any good? Who knows? Must be. Catherine Pirate. Some female pianist. Oh. Pretty face, nice flesh on her. Oh, huh? Who? Let us watch her show. Her fingers caress the keys, playing them with the force of her heart. I see, you are showing to them who you really are. Did she play to prove them wrong? Yep. Her music saturated the theater with her fervor. No, not to prove them wrong. To set it right. Catherine Pirate is my name. I am more than just a pretty face. Oh, why are they showing this to me, to us? Like, Catherine died later on, what the fuck? And I am playing this piece for you. It is my gift. Let me touch your soul. Rosa felt her eye get moist. This was Catherine's heart transcribed in the music. All energy and beauty with the strength of the wind. The mischief of a sudden gale that whips at ladies' skirts and tips gentlemen's hats. The cold breeze that carried the loneliness of the coming winter. Everyone in the audience felt it. Rosa searched for Guillemot's face in the darkness. She couldn't see him clearly. But it didn't matter. She knew what he was feeling. Do you? Do you know what he was feeling? She felt it too. Rosa's heart began to ache. It was a sting she didn't know how to name. A sting. After the show, Rosa greeted Catherine in her backstage dressing room. Oh, hello, Catherine. She was smothered in flowers from the audience, sweat glistened on her forehead. Oh, you have grown bigger now. Catherine gave her a tight hug. Congratulations, Kath. You were marvelous on stage. Thank you, Rosie. Catherine covered her cheeks with her hands. I'm still shaking. The excitement from the stage hasn't left. Look at my hands. Shaking. Haha, oh dear. So I would call this show a success, yes. What is that painting? Okay, I think it was some cryptic painting. That's a lot of rose. Hello there. Pour the champagne, chérie. It's a night to remember. Catherine and Rosa hug again. Let me just finish up here, Rosa. Then we'll celebrate properly. Two young ravishing ladies sampling the best of what Paris had to offer. I like it. Rosa laughed. Just don't let go of my hand. You might get lost being so starry-eyed. She was teasing, but smiling brightly all the same. I will never. Anyway, shall I meet you outside in a few minutes? You might want to know who is else out there. Very well, I'll see you later. Rosa was thankful to leave the backstage area. She had almost forgotten her anxiety during the show, but the backstage was an ill reminder of the crowd. She looked forward to the night ahead, wondering vaguely why she hadn't mentioned Gulma's present to Kat. I wonder. She shrugged it off. It had simply slipped her mind, that was all. I also mentioning that. Catherine went back to her dressing room, humming as she was about to grab her coat. She was in the least bit tired. Visiting the city, exploring new sights and gaining experience made her giddy with excitement. It will end the night on the best note, she was sure. Oh no, is this a flag? Like, it will end horribly? A small knock interrupted her thoughts. Who's there? Catherine turned around, and a cheerful smile froze on her face. Froze? The Marquis peeked from the open door and stepped inside. Hello, Kat. No, how do I? Hello, Kat. Hello, Kat. A tingling passed through Catherine's neck. Catherine? Something's wrong? Although she was aware he had returned, this was the first time she'd seen him in 2 years. Wow. After she rebuked his intentions of wooing her. You rebuked the intentions. Interesting. I think. Good job. Catherine shook her head at the memory. They grew up together. It was normal to develop feeling for someone you shared most of your life with, was it not? Yet Catherine had promised herself not to dabble with the Marquis. With all the rumors and the past flings, she knew too much. Too close, too complicated, she had reason. The rumors were still alive in some circles. But hadn't Guillaume come clean with his romantic escapades? Hadn't he vowed to be faithful since he made his intentions clear? Wait. So you are currently dating the Marquis, Guillaume, but just like, this guy has some suspicious background, especially after not meeting 2 years. Who to believe? Perhaps it was possible that Catherine pushed away the insinuation of the last thought and rearranged her face into a merry smile. She courtesied. My lord Marquis, thank you for coming. That last bit came out too loud in her ears. It felt like her voice was compensating. She suppressed a groan. No, I hope you found the show satisfactory. My lord Marquis, what happened to Gilly Monster? At once the memories flooded her mind. That used to be her greeting every time she had visited him back then. She would scream that when she saw him right before she flung her arms around his neck. Catherine didn't know what to do. Suddenly her hands, the hands that had never betrayed her, felt like they belonged to someone else. She cleared her throat and felt a smile harden on her face. Pardon my past slight, sire. I was a bit of a precocious child. So you two are not dating because you reject the wooing? Alright. After all, I must give my due respects to the sponsor of this event. Thank you, by the way. It didn't have to be so extravagant. Wasn't it your dream to play in Paris, Cat? I thought your debut will be the perfect opportunity to fulfill that dream. The Marquis stepped into her quarters and closed the door. Catherine flinched, afraid that the small room would draw them even closer. Why are you blushing so hard? Just the effect that he wanted, probably. The sly fox. She floundered for a bit and contented herself in fusing with the flowers on the table. She should chase him out. Why wasn't she chasing him out? Damn it, Catherine. I didn't think you'd be attending tonight, sire. Weren't you traveling? Yes, I was. But I wouldn't miss your concerto for the whole of France. Guillaume stepped forward. And it seems my investment were well placed. Guillaume drew closer to Catherine, so near that she could smell the mint in his breath. Oh no! Kath. Oh no! If only this is not a fucked up visual novel, alright? Oh no. He appeared to reach out to her face, but changed direction at the last minute. Congratulations. Oh, these flowers are from the Duke. How pretty. He examined the cards dangling a hair away from Catherine's ears, trying to look fascinated by the piece of decorative paper. Then he stepped back, grinning like an idiot, a thing of red colored. Wait, are you really like trying to woo her, but then embarrassed? What the fuck? No! I refuse to believe that this exists. What the fuck? You must be acting. Yes, you must be acting. A tinge of red colored his cheeks. He really has a great taste. Wherever did you learn that, you dork? If he thought that kind of ploy would make her swoon, then he was dead wrong. In fact, all it made her want to do was wipe that stupid grin off his face. With the backside of the vase. Wow. Yeah, hell yeah, girl. You go. Yes, he does, doesn't he? Oh my god, I know Catherine is dead, but each chapter just makes me love her as a character even more. What the fuck? Why did you do this? Why did the developers make them die? She gritted her teeth, unable to take the acidic edge of her voice. It will be so hard. All she had to do was grab the neck of the expensive vase and fling. Are you still thinking about that? And fling it at his head. Yeah, hell yeah. She wasn't sure if the vase would break. If it doesn't break, I will hit again twice, thrice, fourth, and until it breaks. Maybe not. Maybe she will need to hit him again for the full. Hell yeah, girl, we have the same mind. Catherine, did she... Sorry. I love this character because basically, I kinda kidding Catherine. You know, like I feel how to say it the same with Catherine. Catherine, did you hear what I just said? Huh? I said now that I'm back in town. Will you consider playing for me again? It was part of our original arrangement after all. She felt the tendons in her neck tighten. I have a full schedule this week, sire, but I'll let you know when I'm free. Oh. Sir, I must retire for the night. I'm exhausted for my performance after all, excuse me. Catherine turned around and went for her coat, but she felt Guillaume grab her hand. What? Wait. Are you seriously stuttering? Why are you blushing? Oh, this is so awkward. God fucking damn it. Let me kick you in the knee and then throw you outside again. They started to shudder for a couple of seconds. Guillaume looked like he was about to say something. Susie baka. His mouth opened and closed as if debating the correct words in his head. But he just dropped Catherine's hands a moment later. I'm sorry, you're right. You must be tired. His shoulders dropped. Catherine felt a tinge of disappointment, but she ignored it quickly. Guillaume let out a sigh. You know I'm not good at this, Catherine. Oh, what do I know? You seem to do just fine. You have an amazing track record. Yeah, exactly. That's why I kinda this guy. Huh. Catherine folded her arms over her chest with a pout. Oh, that. That is just because of my face. Really? What? Most people think I am very deep and thoughtful when I stare at them like this. Yeah, it feels like your head are empty. Like you are just staring to other places. Look at Catherine's face. I just run with it. Really? Catherine bit her lip to prevent the chuckle from escaping, but a laughter burst out from her. Before she could stop herself, a mischievous smile appeared on her lips. No. Actually, it is your inability to make big gestures, Gilly. Oh no. Huh. Well, look at you. She copied his tight, alert posture. You stand stiff as a board. I guess it fools people into believing you are a graceful, dashing soul. Guillaume made a pout. But I am dashing too. Yeah, I'm not sure if you are really like this or are you are adapting. Oh, contraire, monsieur. It did have. Oh fuck! I just realized. Of course, it is set on French. They all speak French from the previous chapter. Why didn't I fucking realize that? I did have the misfortune of being victim to your dancing. I did. Must you always bring that up? It was a long time ago. He looked so distressed that Catherine couldn't help but tease him further. I mourned the death of my little toe, sire. It was a traumatic experience. What happened to your toe? Before long, they were laughing like it was the most natural thing in the world. When did it change? Hadn't it always been like this? Catherine settled back into her own skin, mulling the confusion in her veins. Kath. She looked up at him, her own emotions stung her. You can't keep running away from me. That sounds ominous. She sighed deeply. Her hands tightened around her soul for lack of a solid thing to hold on to. Perhaps not, but I have already given you an answer. I am aware. I have tried to accept it. Please don't take offense, but I think it will be easy. I'll have to clear my head, to fill my mind with other things. Traveling usually does the trick. For a while at least, I thought I was successful. But even during my trip, I would catch myself thinking such absurd things like, I wonder what Kath will say when she sees that. No, I don't think Catherine will like this too much. Well, Kath used to say. It was funny, but also a little infuriating to know that you have never left my mind. Oh. So I wish I knew how to do this. I am his side. I am too used to people leaving me that I do not know how to quit on my own. Quit on your own? It must bother you the amount of lovers I had in the past. I am sorry for that. I almost wish I really was that adept. But like I have told you, most are simply rumors. Really? The rest were people realizing I am not as interesting as they initially thought. Guillaume. They never stay long, Cat. One could say I am amazing with first impressions. There's a nagging feeling that is all I'm ever good for. A sort of exotic trophy people like to collect for its sake and then put aside when its novelty expires. I can blame them. Yeah, but instead of a trophy, I will make you a punching bag. By now, I'm quite sure that I am what is wrong. I must be better at letting people go. But you, please don't make me let go. Wow. You see through me, Cat. In your eyes, I feel like I am somebody worth loving. Is it any wonder I like to continue thinking of you fondly? Old habits die hard, I suppose. Old habits die hard. Yes. Your old habits. Catherine bit her lip. Stay strong, please, girl, stay strong. Those are impressive words, sire, but you have a point. My point. It's simple, really. I don't think I'll be able to stop my feelings for you. Oh no. You may reject me as many times as you wish. I will not change. I have already come to the conclusion that I don't mind. Until you find somebody else worthy, I will always be here. He shrugged. So I propose that you either get used to me chasing you, or you give in to my dashing toe-mashing charms. Wow. Catherine chuckled despite herself. Yeah, I will smash your toe, Guillermo. Or I could just kill you with the fashionable vase. Wow. Hell yeah, girl, let's do that instead. I rather choose these options, you know. Here, like I'm holding his hand and you hit him in the head. Please do not give me my superior the pleasure. My superior the pleasure. I would rather you rip my heart out of my chest and offer it as a dark sacrifice to the gods. Is that what it is? Is this the issue? Gory? Very poetic. Dashing points for you. You think so? I've been reading a lot of romance novels lately. No. What kind of romance novels are you even talking about? I must learn to be more suave to make the lady of my dreams soon. Oh no. Is it working? Catherine laughed. Hardly. I believe this is how they do it in a big final. Guillermo cleared his throat and knelt down on one knee. Oh no, the destruction. The destruction of one resolve. He took Catherine's hand awkwardly, trying to act as natural as he could. As natural, eh? His serious face made Catherine burst out laughing. What in the world are you doing, idiot? Stop laughing, madame. I must try this at least once. I'm simply concerned for an older gentleman and his knee. Your knee! Will you be able to stand up from that position later, given your obvious grace? Terrible, dare you call me an old man? I don't look my age, you know. Sure. Oh, stop laughing, will you? I'm trying to concentrate. He cleared his throat again. Will Mademoiselle Catherine Pereire allow me an audience tonight? As such, perhaps she might allow me to stay by her side for a while longer. It will make me a very happy man. It was sappy and ridiculous, and yet hearing the word did stir Catherine hard. They were giggling like fools now, like children, her heart heavy with love for him. Oh no. Love? Did she just think love? Fuck. Of course she did. She had always loved him. Why was she fighting her feelings again, man? The rumor, the previous flings that seems like to end in disasters, and the possibility that this guy, like, tried to hide a lot of things, The reason seemed unclear all of a sudden. Alright, sire, your gallantry has convinced this lady to accept your offer for tonight. She bowed with an exaggerated curtsy. Guillermo took her hand theoretically as he stood up. This gentleman is relieved he didn't have to sing. Oh no! A few rules for tonight. As we are in Paris, you must be on your best behavior. No embarrassing jokes like making friends with the street mimes. Agreed. As such, I must retire by 8. 10. 10? 8. 9:30. 9. Take it or leave it. Oh no. Guillermo grumbled, but Catherine just chuckled at his frustration. 5, 9, fine, 9:15 it is. Wait, what? Sire, I meant 9 sharp. Gilmay face brightened like a little boy's. Oh, I know where we can go. Oh, okay. Oh, I know where we can go. I thought you was grumpy. There's a quiet little piazza just south of here. They have a breathtaking view of the city. They are on a hill, you see. I know the owner personally, so we are already guaranteed the best seats. And they serve the best gratin. What is a gratin? Gratin again. If you're gonna eating that at every given opportunity, there wouldn't be potatoes left in all France. Oh no, potato is gone. Catherine sighed. Why must he be so? This better not be a game like all your other playing, sire. I deserve to be treated like more than a prize. But Catherine watched Guillaume's face beam as he talked about that little house on the hill. How when the weather was perfect, the stars would soak the sky. She giggled to herself with fondness. What a doll. A night in Paris and he would rather eat cheese potatoes. I would rather eat cheese potatoes as well. It is delicious. Seems delicious. It was just like him to pick the stars inside of the city, wasn't it? It pleased her to know that she adored the side of him that the others did not see. But was this the real him? You just start questioning it now. Did she really see through him like he said? Or was this face he put on her for her sake, like most flirts could? This is like the same thing you did to Rosa back then, didn't you? Is this really who Guillaume is? Because Guillaume also did the same to Rosa near the end of the chapter, like, this is who I really am. If it was, then she had been watching this face since she was a little girl. From awe to admiration, from friends to lovers. They had seen the best and worst of each other through the years. Surely there was something to that. Surely it couldn't all be a lie. No. Right? Oh yeah. About that. I'm sorry I got carried away. Shall we go? Yes. Catherine grabbed her coat and Guillaume took her purse. Oh, I almost forgot. Rosa is waiting outside. Then let us hurry and meet up with her. I haven't seen her for a long time. I miss her too. It will be a treat to spend the evening with 2 esteemed ladies. She'll be thrilled to see you. Just like old times, us 3. Yes. She slipped her hand on his arm nonchalantly and Cuff Guillaume smiled to himself. At the very least, let the smile be real. Oh. I absolutely love this transition. Holy shit, that's nice. I didn't think it would transition like this. You're lying. Lady Claudette saw you in Nimes. Tears and snot ran down her face. She was holding a vintage 1610 bottle of wine. She grabbed the neck of the bottle and flung it at the wall where Guillaume was standing. He died just in time to open the glass. Ah, fuck. You should have thrown it faster. Here, let me grab the piece of the glass and throw it at his face. Sherry, eh? Don't you share me, you bastard! What? Can we not take it out on my one collection again? Catherine threw another bottle in response. Stop, Catherine, you're going to hurt yourself. Hurt myself? Like you care. You tell me you're off to Avignon last weekend, but you're actually in Nimes. Why are you making this into a huge deal? So I had to stop over at a neighboring town. It's a lie if you omit things. I told you at the very start of the relationship, Guillaume. I want 100% honesty from you. And I've told you as well. I have a reputation. Rumors follow me, idle mouths can help but chatter. Did you know that Lady Claudette once indecently proposed to me? And right in her husband's birthday gathering as well. So what? Oh no. Still, you did went to Avignon. That is all beside the point. You know what they say, where there is smoke, there is fire. How about a name to further torch the bush? Lane de Montclair. Lane is the sharp girl of the town, a nice girl. Or at least I surmise from all those 3 times I made the mistake to enter her shop, it looks like. Is there anything else you would like to insinuate? Oh, nothing at all, sire. Why? Is there anything I should know? Gullimer tried to speak calmly. Darling, I promised you when we got engaged, didn't I? I will be faithful to only you. There's no one else. I mean, you did get engaged, which is different, right? But Catherine gritted her teeth. Again with this. You are not clear from a monkey's spit. Answer me straight right now, yes or no, are you having an affair? Gullimer threw his hands up in annoyance. God damn it, Catherine, I am not. I have already answered this. Why does it seem like you only hear what you want to hear? I just want to understand everything and make it crystal clear. Is that so bad? Now explain to me what Lady Claudette... Lady Claudette, you are taking that bitter conniving woman's word over mine. Well, I tried to get information from the source, but the source isn't very reliable. Guillemot's shoulders slumped in an irritated surrender. She heard him curse under his breath. I am tired of this cat. This is a waste of time. What is the point of this if we keep going around in circles? Catherine snuffled, wiping her nose savagely with her hand. You always do this. You go off on a tangent and pick things apart. You don't even listen to my side at all. Could you stop acting like a child for 1 minute? Maybe then we can have a real conversation. A conversation with a liar is always one-sided. Yeah, good point, Catherine. Catherine grabbed 2 bottles this time, no. What would happen if she brought the 2 bottles crashing in front of her? Will the pieces of glass tap her face, her eyes, maybe? What a random thought. No, Catherine. The morbid pictures gave her an out-of-body experience. It was a nasty fight, depressingly familiar. Fight? But they were dancing to the same tune once again. Here be the lovers. What? What? What the fuck are they doing? Enter left the hothead. Watch her dance with anger blazing. Tears are sparkling with rage. The fight goes on until she's spent. The reason hazy in her head. Pun right the rake. Both the victim and accused. Words are poison or an unlit fuse. Migraine stone his pride and temper. He grudgingly takes on logic's mantle. The words they throw reach fever pitch. The dance will crash, he'll choose to leave. Enough of this, he says in rage. Tempers rising, he exits rage. Her unspent fervor burning hot. She cries it off, that cowardly sot. What did you expect, she asks herself. He'll take abuse with a bowed head. The least he could do, her anger shouts. Yeah, you're abusing her, Catherine, that's not good. A hint of guilt, a hint of doubt. The merchant throbs as he is pacing. Annoyed and angered, his face aflush. Capricious woman, irrational. He shakes his head with a tired breath. Yet he basks in torture and savors the taste. This is love, he nods. This is love, he says. How? Love and pain go hand in hand. No! What the fuck? Not a pain like this. It is painful, yes, but never bled. He nips a morsel and takes a bite. Exquisite, he trembles. Morsel? Take a bite? Exquisite? What? A rush. A charge. He feels his heart is struck by love. Decides that it is worth the gripe. A dainty flower he must protect. To watch it bloom until it's ripe. Ripe? But not right now, he says to a sore. What do you mean? His pride's too hard to swallow whole. Hours pass, he will then call. She forms the word she knows will hurt. She plans to cut and make him bleed. Oh, no. Yet when he arrives, she all but weeps. Why do you leave? I shouldn't have. Are you angry still? I am here now, love. Her arms are snug upon his neck. He'll promise to change to do what's best. For both their sakes, he admits he's wrong. A little lie to complete the song. A little lie. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you love. So, is the never betray the lie or the love is the lie? Kinda love that too. Just tell me when you're tired of me or when you find some other pretty thing, you bastard. Catherine slipped back in her brain just as the last sentence left her lips. If you are going to leave me, then just leave. Stop playing me for a fool. This was a new tempo. She dropped the bottles to her side, but did not let go. He noticed the change of song and timed his step accordingly. I never once thought or treated you like a fool. I love you. I'm never going to leave you. New tears charged and bubbled from her eyes. Liar. It was her turn to leave this time, and she did. He was left to perform a solo. Contemplation, regret, penance. A vow of new beginnings forming in his head. Fascinating. Fascinating indeed. Oh, Kath. Rosie Wosie! Oh no, Kath. Catherine stumbled into Rosa's room that evening, drunk to high heaven. No. Her half-lidded eye surveyed Rosa's meager space. She let herself fall in bed, regretting it instantly. The ceiling spun in a waltz of throbbing headaches and acid-laced throats. Bad idea. Catherine stood up and her wobbly legs tripped her. No. Rosa covered and set Kath on her small bed. My goodness, you stink of alcohol. She propped some pillows behind her back and fixed the stray hairs that had littered her face. Thanks, hon. You're a dear. How much have you had, Kath? Yeah. Catherine. Catherine counted on her fingers. Never mind. Would you like some water? Nope. Interesting. Huh. I can almost hear liquid sluicing around in my brain when I shake my head. Oh no. Brain empty. Poo-poo. Rosa pursed her lips. Catherine was in no shape to make decisions right now. She stood up to get her something to sober her up. But Catherine grabbed Rosa's hands and tucked it gently. No, not you. You sit. Please. Rosa complied. Catherine refilled a bottle about 3/4 full. Stop drinking. Sninging her one from the Gilded Mother's closet, serves him right for calling me a child. Rosa began to protest. Catherine paid her no mind. Come on, Rosa. When have we ever drunk ourselves to the point of insanity? Oh no. And I'll call you my best friend. Catherine took a huge swig of the bittersweet liquid and offered it to Rosa. Rosa examined it carefully and took a mouthful. She gargled it in her mouth, admiring the sweet and sour flavor of the wine. I've never had anything this rich before. Yeah, a lot of sugar. A lot of sugar too, apparently. Good, right? It had to be. It's the last bottle. Oh no. So, had another fight with Gui. Shush, Bedouin follows the name. I'm not talking about that egocentric pompadour tonight. We are going to drink. We are going to reminiscence. And tomorrow we'll hate ourselves together. Agreed? Rosa giggled. If you say so. Alright, our last one. Oh. Rosa puffed her cheeks in mock disgust. Fine. How do you make holy water? How? How? Boil the hell out. Fuck. Okay, that's good. Boil the hell out of it. Okay, that's a good one. I love it. Rosa and Catherine were assaulted by fits of hysterical laughter. Catherine felt the muscles of her cheeks ache. That is so bad, I don't even have the words. Catherine wiped the tears of laughter from her eyes. I heard that one from one of your sweethearts, Sir Adrien. Oh, Rosa get a sweethearts. Rosa rolled her eyes. How come I always end up talking to your sweethearts more than you? I must start charging you a fee. I'll pay it with my gratitude. What is wrong with Sir Adrien anyway? He seems like a nice man. Nice hair, nice teeth, nicely groomed mutant chops. The woman laughed. How about Sir Ferran? He sent you that lovely bouquet of flowers. I'm not interested in a relationship at the moment. At the moment? You don't seem interested ever. Well, yeah, because of trauma, mostly. I am. Sometimes. It is just hard to connect to people for me beyond physical. Relationship seems out of the question. You don't have any difficulty with me or that idiot in the upper room. It means you're not incapable. That is only because you are my closest friends. Well, there must be someone. Oh, you are so picky. If you go on like that, you might end up an old maid. So be it. I'd rather take care of your children anyway. Oh no. I shall be an amazing godmother. Oh no. Catherine smiled wistfully. I'm not sure I want any. What? Children. I love children, but it's a little scary. Yeah, Rosa, you said it yourself, so don't judge Catherine. I mean, you have your own preference, Catherine. Have their own preference. It is your own right to your own self. The right to your own self and body. Catherine bit her lip. What if she becomes her own mother? What? Oh, what if he becomes like your mother? It was such a terrifying possibility, wasn't it? She barely remembered her mother. Her malady had struck as soon as Catherine was born. She had never called Catherine by her name, not even on the day she had died. All she knew was that their family struggled with that crisis. Her father exhausted and depressed, and her sister forced to grow up too fast. To be a blight to the people you love, how horrible it would be. How much of my own defects will I impress on my child? Oh no, Catherine. Catherine. Rosa smiled at her, interrupting her thoughts. You will be a good mother. Yeah, if she could, with the future. Your past does not matter. The future matter. Catherine stared at Rosa, almost enchanted at her ability to know what she was thinking. She really was her best friend, wasn't she? The thought warmed her heart. You really think so? Yes. The fact that you are so concerned about them before they are even born speaks much of your care. Whatever happens, those children will grow up loved. If there is children, Catherine blushed and changed the subject. Oh, we are out of booze. We finished it. I'm quite buzzed. Hey, remember that first time we drank? Do you mean the party or the potato incident? Potato incident? Of course I mean the potato incident. Oh, how can I forget? Rosa burst out laughing. What happened? That was hilarious. What? Wench, stop. What? Wench, stop laughing. Sorry. Wench, stop laughing. I almost went to jail. Why? Goodness, I was so stupid. Rosa laughed again. Amen. Hey, you were supposed to say, no, Catherine, we do dumb things when we are young. Catherine, we do dumb things when we are young. It's about time you learn your lesson. I can't wait to tell your children endless tales of your shenanigans. Oh no. Wench. Toot toot. Yeah, toot toot. Catherine grabbed Rosa's waist and attempted to tickle her, but Rosa slipped away laughing. Catherine's stomach lurched and she stopped, her hands still hugging Rosa's waist. Durham spun, but it wasn't unpleasant. She felt like being gently rocked in a cradle. She closed her eyes and smiled. She took in Rosa's scents, always smelling slightly of apples. Rosa scratched her head and smoothed her hair. This is nice. Yes. Rosa. Thank you for being with me. Of course. No, I mean... She sat up on the bed. You've been with me all my life. You're my oldest friend. When we first met, I didn't have many friends. I just studied my piano lessons night and day because that's all I ever know to do. It was all I had. Maybe that's why I begged Papa to let you stay with us. I was so happy. Ross smiled fondly at the memory. You were there for me always. That sounds disgustingly melodramatic. You're wrong, I understand. They laugh again. Would you like to hear something worse? What? You changed my life. That is worse. Rosa smiled fondly as she played with Catherine's hair. I'm the lucky one, Catherine. You took me home and treated me like I was family. I wouldn't have known what a real family was like without you, Papa Francois, and Emilia. Even if Papa Francois always did avoid me, I know he cared for me like his own. Yes. Why is that? Yeah, why? What? That was why I like him. He was a good man. And you know, Guillaume is almost family too. Catherine made a face at the mention of the man, but her eyes softened. There was a pause. Catherine shifted awkwardly in her skin. Can I tell you a secret? Of course. Guillaume and I... We haven't had intercourse. Oh, what? Alright. Recently? Forever. No, I mean, at all. Oh. Rosa cleared her throat. I see. After all these years? Well, we kind of try sometimes, but I always get freaked out. Rosa blushed. Her head knit together image of the few people she considered her friends. Rosa tried to push them away, but all she was able to do was paint their warped fantasies in gossamers and fuss. She cleared her throat. Is that why you have separated rooms even when we move here to the chateau? No, that was his idea. He's very peculiar with his sleep. I imagine we'll be keeping the separate bedrooms even when we get married. What are you hiding in your room, Guillaume? I don't really mind. Well, your wedding is soon, isn't it? Perhaps you are just nervous. No, I don't think it's like that. Recently we get intimate, but I always stop when things get too far. Oh. He gets upset sometimes, but he says it's alright. Catherine looked down ruefully on her toast. He doesn't push me into it, I shall be glad. But, don't you think it's strange? What if I stay like this even after we get married? Then it's not a problem. Not a problem, actually. I don't understand why. Sometimes I get these doubts and I wonder why they are there. Isn't that unfair to him? I do love him, I know I do, yet you did domestic abuse at him. I just feel like there's something wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with you. But it makes me really insecure. This lack of, what if he's getting it somewhere else? Oh. It drives me crazy. And believe me, I want to. I just can't for some reason. I get this horrible feeling I can explain. Horrible feeling. Rosa examined Catherine's face and came to a conclusion. And that conclusion is... It took me a while to understand sex. Okay. The sudden nonsense comment surprised Catherine. Rosa went on. I was the same as you. I had always had an adverse feeling for it. Like it's dirty and that I should be ashamed for enjoying it. I had always thought love will make sex clean. But that's not how it works. They are two separate things. Yeah, they are. So just because you don't like sex, it doesn't mean you don't love him, Kat. Catherine looked up at her. Why do you even care so much to hurt him? What do you think love is? Oh wait, I thought it was Catherine talking. Why do you even care so much to hurt him? What do you think love is? If you need time to understand sex further, then the best partner will be somebody you know who will take care of you and your feelings. That goes both ways for you and for him too. The warm feeling returned to Catherine's heart. How do you do that? Huh? You always know the right thing to say, always. Rosa blushed at this, suddenly aware that they were still in a loose tangle of an embrace. I've read a lot of smart books lately. She tried to defuse the situation with a laugh, but Catherine didn't drop her look. Candlelight played pretty shadows on her skin. It illuminated the gleam in her eyes. The moist on her lips. Hello, is this Alright. Rosa felt the warmth of the alcohol rise up on her face. Her heartbeat increased steadily. Anyway, maybe you will feel better about it when you are married. You are probably just nervous about the whole thing. She made attempts to curl away from Catherine's arms. Slowly, softly ran away. Dispersed the proximity, but she couldn't run away from her stare. Catherine's hand caressed Rosa's face. She touched her scars daintily, tracing them with her fingers. You're really pretty, Rosa. Especially right now. Thank you, I think. You don't believe me. I don't think I am. I look in the mirror and I see a freak. No, you're not. Rosa? That's not true. It is fine. I like being a freak. I wanted to be ugly. I used to bind my breasts and hide in the shabbiest clothes I could find. Yeah, you are getting targeted, Rosa. I know. Yeah, it is traumatic and understandable. Rosa touched her eye. This was penance, to remember herself saying. For being a sinner and a freak. For attracting attention and spite. For dressing nicely. For letting her hair grow long. But really, I did this to myself to hide. To hide? Rosa's mouth quivered. I thought people don't touch ugly things. But the truth is, they do. So what I'd rather be is invincible. Catherine wrapped her arms around Rosa's neck. She heard Catherine sniff and wipe tears behind her embrace. She pushed Rosa's hair away and kissed her defective eye. You're not a freak and you're not ugly. I love every part of you. They're all beautiful. Rosa forgot how to choose the clothes they wear now, forget Catherine's hands on her own. Here was somebody who accepted her with all her faults and ugliness. You always made me feel I'm worth something. Because you are. You are beautiful, Rosa, inside and out. Rosa saw her face reflected in Catherine's eyes. In them, she did indeed look beautiful. A lump formed in Rosa's throat. Catherine's face hovered above her cheek. She planted a little seed of a kiss on it, just barely away from her lips. Rosa kissed her nose in return. It made Catherine giggle. At first, the kisses were sweet, innocent. The kind of punch-drunk kisses that sent them both in the balls of giggling. But Catherine's hand caressed her neck. The kisses lingered. Lips melted. Hands explored. And Rosa sucked on Catherine's tongues inside her mouth. Wow, that's a quick development. Wine, candle wax, spit. That was what it tasted like. Rosa's head began to swoon. Catherine's hand squeezed her right breast. Tripe. Grapes. Plush. Hello? Rosa began to taste more of her. Why is it scary? Longing. Regrets. Tears. A sensational flavor she had never tasted before hovered at the edge of her tongue. Suddenly she was hungry for it. Take it all. Alright. Rosa savored the taste. She breathed deeply. All mine. Child, I want it. Her heart, I want her heart. Her love is sweet. Listen to my voice. Mother? Why are you suddenly so helpful right now? But I'm so hungry. So hungry. Stop! Rosa flung her eyes open. A stinging feeling of menace overcame her. No! Rosa pulled away. She pushed Catherine away from her face. Catherine's eyes snapped open, startled by Rosa's outburst. Why did you stop? Who? Are you like have three people in you right now, like your mother and something else and you? You really selfish bitch. She blinked for a few seconds. A look of horror crept on her face. I'm sorry. I didn't mean... No, Kath. Rosa couldn't stand the hurt in her eyes. She was probably blaming herself. Rosa wanted to shout how wrong she was, but the lump in her throat became a rapacious mouth. A tumor had grown inside of her, a parasite. She could feel it pulse and slither inside her neck. She couldn't speak at all. Catherine wobbled off the bed. I'm not sure if that is a literal parasite or just a stuff, you know. She wiped her mouth and cheeks, which were covered with a thin layer of drool. I'm so sorry, Rosa. I'm going to leave now. Kath, good night. Rosa should have followed her. But when she tried to stand, the floor twirled. She choked at the flavor left in her throat. Sick and cloying, sticky sweet like honey. The taste both repulsed and enticed her. Thick spit leaked out of her mouth. She felt the urge to vomit. This is nothing, Mother. Just a bad after effect of alcohol. No. Please don't call me that. It was an accident. Your mother didn't even speak, I think. Or did she? Everything is fine. She will tell Catherine tomorrow, assure her that this was not her fault. Everything was fine. But she died? There was an urgent knock at Gulma's door. The clock read 2:15 in the morning. He closed his journal and stood up from his desk. Yes, coming. He opened his door. Catherine stood in front of him, her cheeks stained with the hastily wiped tears. Kath. Guillaume, can we talk? Oh, isn't it quite late? Please, it's urgent. Alright. Guillaume led her inside. Didn't people supposed not to enter your room, like, around this time? Lady, you smell like my finished bottle of Bourgogne. Oh, how do you read that? And also, yes, you're correct. We're drinking all of your stocks. Fuck you. Did you get so drunk you actually thought of apologizing first? I didn't think I'd see the day. Darling, what's wrong? Catherine's thumbs went to her mouth with her thinking. How could she even begin to tell Guillaume what she had done? Honey, I was really upset with you today. So despite any good sense, I went and got myself drunk. This time I dragged Rosa along with me. Things have a tendency to go out of hand when alcohol is involved, you know? Long story short, I came into Rosa. You know, Rosa, the girl who is almost like my sister. Oh no. Yes, I may have forced myself on her. And I did that right after she told me she had been abused before. Oh no. She felt Guillaume's hand take her thumb away from her mouth. I have a little... Sorry, I don't know. I have a little suspicion on Frank Weiss. Like, their father probably also targeted Rosa back then and realized his mistake. That's why he stays away from Rosa. I don't know, I'm sorry for doubting probably a good, innocent person. She felt Guillaume's hands take her thumb away from her mouth. Kath. She looked at her fingers in horror. Her habit had surfaced again. She thought she had gotten rid of this as she grew up. Biting your finger. Replacing the nail beating with a meticulous, almost obsessive care of her fingers. My fingers are my livelihood. I must take care of them. Now the nails were chewed down to the jagged stumps, and a couple of them had tiny blistering cuts. Kath, can you talk? Catherine's eyes snapped back to Guillaume as if he had just materialized in the room beside her. So yes, like I was saying, darling. Which is the worst thing? What do you think? The abuse of my best friend or my infidelity to you? Or if that doesn't cut it, dear, may I divulge you to one last point? I felt something worrying when I kissed her. excitement. If she hadn't stopped me, something else would have. It felt so real. It didn't feel like a mistake. It felt like it had always been there, buried deeply. So much so that it felt like cheating. It was like a craving. I wanted it. It was something I haven't felt with you when we... Why is this happening? I don't know. I don't even know who I am anymore. Kath, you're scaring me. Tell me what's wrong. Will you still want to marry me? Will you still love me even you? I wouldn't. I can't even look at myself in the mirror. But I think I know who I am now. I am a selfish, depraved bitch. Oh, I have always been the controlling, jealous lover to you. And just one night of drunken frenzy, I went and took advantage of the two people I care for the most. That time back then, when Rosa speaks, there's like a third thing in Rosa, right? A third mind? Is it Rosa herself, or Guilherme has some sort of spell that he has planned this that makes Catherine goes to Rosa and then stuff like that happen, and then this happens, like you apologize. I'm not sure. Perhaps there's some dark magic involved here. I went and took advantage of the two people I care for the most. I want to call off the engagement. At first, Catherine saw that Guilherme treated it as a joke, but the panic in his eyes set in immediately. What? I said I'm calling off the engagement. Well, I refuse. You don't have a choice. I'm leaving tomorrow. No. Not until you tell me what's wrong. Guilherme's eyes didn't flinch. These were the looks he gave her that melted her heart. They were so sure and steadfast in their care. They were just fighting this morning, a fight she had started as usual. Yet there was no doubt in his eyes at all. If she were to see that certainty fade away from his eyes, she knew it would break her. Is it about the fight earlier? Because Kath, I swear to you, I haven't done any of the... Yeah, about that. Kath done it. No, stop. Hearing him reinstate his devotion to her just made it more painful. Tears pulled in her eyes and fell in huge ugly globs. She had been doing so well, she had thought she could hold it in until she left. She wiped the tears as best she could, but more kept pouring out. It isn't about that. Then what is it? What do you want me to do? Whatever it is, I shall do it. This was so hard. Why did this have to be so hard? Why did she even go here? Because she wanted to see his face. She wondered what it would be like for a cheater to go back to the arms of her lover. Will they change somehow? I don't know. Did she still love him? How could she even fail? Hell, all her emotions were wrapped in a thick layer of guilt. It was hard to distinguish every painful thought. She started to sob now, yes, indeed. Ugly, unflattering snorts came out of her nose. It felt comforting to hold on to guilt. Its existence made the hatred towards herself bite less. Kath, please tell me what's bothering you. I don't deserve you. I'm a horrible person. You ought to find someone else to marry. Catherine let the words stumble out of her mouth, slightly relieved to be rid of that. She looked carefully up at Guilherme to gauge his reaction, but he just stared back at her blankly. Why wouldn't he say anything? Catherine sobbed, fearing the worst. Guilherme cleared his throat and spoke hesitantly. Could you repeat that? He cupped his hand to his ears and angled it closer to her face. He apparently hadn't caught any of her heartfelt words. Catherine snarled angrily at him. You idiot! I'm having a breakdown here! But I didn't understand what he said. I said you ought to find someone else because I'm a horrible person. Guilherme pulled her to him. Oh, that's it. Ooh. Whatever made you think that I'll accept that reason? Catherine tears soaked his shirt. You don't know what I've done. I've set fire to the mansion. We both are going to die. Then tell me. You'll hate me, I guarantee it. Did she punch a baby? Perhaps. No. The inside joke made her laugh out of the blue. She buried her face in his chest in a half-sob, half-laugh. Suddenly her doubts were cleared. Suddenly she didn't want to marry anyone else. Really? Fascinating. Catherine's arms tightened around Guillemot's waist. I've been taking you for granted, haven't I? I've been arrogant, expecting you to always adjust to me and my whims. A new fervor sprung out of her love for him. I don't deserve you right now. But I'll work on that if you give me another chance. First, she will tell him what she had done. Then it will be up to him if he still wanted her. He deserves the decision. What I did. But Guillemot stopped her with a kiss on her forehead. Tomorrow. After a hearty breakfast and a good night rest. I'll listen to what you have to say. Though I'm quite sure my answer will be safe. Catherine's face melted into a smile and he beamed at her. My star finally smiles. Catherine wiped her eyes. I love you so much. She said with content, part of her anxiety put to rest. I really do. She whispered the last one under her breath as if trying to console herself. Guillemot. Yes, dear. Will you make love to me? Huh? Guillemot rose shut up in surprise. Now? Right, now. Yes. No. Well, if you're not ready, later is also fine. Or tomorrow. But since it's already morning, then technically it's today, right? Guillemot's head tilted slightly and a amused smirk plastered on his face. Please take me seriously, Guillemot. This is important to me. I have to know, I have to make sure. Make sure of what? Catherine. Guillemot held her hand. I think you are tired. And just a little bit barmy, more than usual, I mean. But this is what we will do. Guillemot guided the woman to the bed and set her down. We are going to lay on the bed. I'm going to pet your hair until you fall asleep. I shall skip work in the morning, have that trifling little talk you want. And as such, if you're still in the love-making type of mood, then Mademoiselle, I will take you up on your offer. Catherine and I moistened, but this time they were happy tears. I love you. Guillemot shrugged and lifted Catherine's legs up into the bed. I love you too, and aren't you lucky? Save it. He climbed on the bed beside her. Catherine wrapped her arms over him. He searched for her hand, brought it up to his lips, and patted it. She closed her eyes and rested her head on his chest, comforted by the warmth of his embrace. Honey, can I ask you something? Why do you love me so much? Why you don't want to sleep in the same place? Perhaps personal reason, I understand that, but Guillemot mused for a while. Is that a trick question? It feels like a trick question. Catherine whined. Guillemot laughed. Fine, I shall humor you for now, because you're in such a state. I'll love you simply because it's easy to love you, darling. You are my star, my light. You keep me right always. You make me want to do good by you, to be a better person. You aren't even my wife yet, but the townspeople are already calling you their lady. I may have to hand you the marquisdom myself. That is only because everyone in town knows who I am. Oh, I wonder why that is. Is it because you help sell vegetables in the marketplace on weekends? Or because you conspire with my cooks to help impromptu panics with the locals? You know about that. One can only sneak out that much food without getting noticed, madame. It amuses me how the servants cover for you upon inquiry as well. It was my idea, they are not to blame. I know, darling, I know. Guillemot chuckled and kissed her temple. What is the potato incident, by the way? They still haven't talked about it. It goes to show you how your presence uplifts everyone's lives, including mine. But honestly, those reasons aren't exactly why. I love you, Kath. I just do beyond what I think I was capable of. Catherine's heart cracked with his last utterance. If I did something bad, would you still love me? Yes, I would. Are you sure? I'm sure. What if I hurt an innocent person? What if I hurt you? She bit her lip. What if I was unfaithful? Guillaume stared at her questioningly. Catherine buried her face in his chest. She felt his hands smooth away her hair. He whispered gently into her ear. If you still have me, come back to me. Guillaume, what happened doesn't matter to me at all. You're not your mistake, Cat. Guillaume cleared his throat. Suddenly, he seemed to have trouble breathing. You have the power to change. How about you? If I told you that I'm not what I say I am, would you? What do you mean? Never mind. It's a silly question. What? Is something bothering you, Guillaume? Guillaume turned his head away and closed his eyes. Nothing, darling. We shall sleep now. Catherine patted away the frown on his brow. She traced his cheeks with her fingers. Guillaume, I do love you. Now I am more than certain. It gives my heart happiness to know for sure. What reminded me was your generosity. You give every bit of yourself to the people you love. Do you know that? Because I have to, darling. Well, you have always inspired me, Cho. I've always looked up to you. You treat everyone, no matter what their status, with kindness. Never have I met a man more generous and thoughtful about others. A man with so much love to give. And that is why I love you. Oh. You are a good man. I'm not sure about that. We'll just see. But if that's not what I really am. Catherine shook her head. You can fake sacrifice, Moncho. Fake sacrifice, I've seen you care for the people in this town. I've seen how you love me. I don't care much for attention, you see. It's what we actually do that defines us. Well, what did he do then? Guillaume paused, his voice shook up in his throat. Not always. Not always. Guillaume found Catherine's hand on his face and squeezed it. She stretched her neck and kissed his cheek. Catherine, you're always scared I will leave you. But the truth is, I know it is you who will leave me. And it hurts. What? You are different. I've loved you for so long. It scares me how deep I have rooted myself. Sometimes I deem it better to end this wretched existence. To save you from... What are you talking about, Guillaume? You're not making sense. Yeah, what are you talking about? Is it your turn to scare me? I'm sorry. They didn't speak for a while. The air became a little uncomfortable. She could feel Guillaume's stressful breathing on her forehead. Catherine wondered what Guillaume was talking about, but it didn't seem like he wanted to discuss it further. When Guillaume started to calm down, Catherine thought it was best to sleep and ask him about it the next day. But Guillaume spoke again. His voice was low and serious. Catherine, do you love me? With all my heart, Guillaume. I've loved you for what it seems like my whole life. The candle flickered. Guillaume slipped his hand on Catherine's hair and gently pushed her face towards his. She closed her eyes and let the sensation of his lips take her. His mouth left sweet traces on her skin, as if washing away her sins, blessing her, anointing her. Catherine tasted salt in his kiss like the taste of tears. She wanted to take away all his sorrows. Guillaume held her tightly, longingly. She drowned herself in his embrace. His palm caressed her neck as he kissed her, sliding down her arm and the curve of her waist. His finger tugged gently on her skin. Catherine darted her tongue inside his mouth, and Guillaume answered it with his own. She wanted his every kiss. She felt pleasure to know he was hers. Her hands ran up and down his back as their kisses grew heavier. She felt him get excited, and she moved her hand between his legs. Guillaume broke away. Kath, let's stop. You're tired. Catherine looked into his eyes and saw he wanted her despite his protest. After the events of that night, there was a despair in Catherine that longed to be quenched. It was a selfish atonement, perhaps, a hunger for self-worth. She ran her tongue over his lips. I want this. Kath. Catherine startled him, dipping her head and plunging her tongue deep into his mouth. She opened his shirt, nibbling on his ear as she did. Wow, she could feel his manhood alive on her. Yeah, okay. She moved her hips, a distraught moan left his throat. Damn, this feels very personal, but alright. She bit her lip coyly. It made her want to do more. The clench of his jaw, his aroused breath, the cord of his neck. They were her little trophies, her bliss. Catherine pulled his shirts free. She traced a finger down his bare stomach, keeping the rhythm on her hips. He opened his mouth, his eyes fluttering. She watched in ecstasy as he bit his lip. To know that he couldn't resist her made her swell with pride. Guillaume grinded with her. He began to answer her passion with his own energy. Guillaume sat up on the bed, finally reaching for her, finally giving in. It felt like a victory to her. Guillaume grabbed her neck and pulled her face to him. His tongue bored deeply into her. Why is the music? Hello? Catherine pulled on his hair, surprised at his sudden intensity. Heat ran through her body. She severed his dominance. Wait, is the music? Mm-hmm. Is something horrible going to happen? His lip ran down her neck to her chest. He sucked on her collarbone while working on the buttons on her blouse. He slipped the garment down with his teeth and kissed the bare skin experimentally. Every nerve felt tender. Every length of skin felt raw. It was a reminder, an awareness that her flesh was a living thing. There was a build-up of tension as he squeezed her breast, planting soft tiny kisses on its fullness. His hand hovered near her crotch. A stray finger would brush her sensitive spot almost innocently. It drove her mad. He was teasing her, studying her reactions with every touch. Catherine drew a sharp breath as Guillaume sucked on her nipple. His tongue played with it until it was hard and purred. Oh no. Wow, so many details. Catherine felt like a melting candle. Hot on a blaze, dripping, thawing in her own heat. Her heart began to pace in time with their kisses. Growing steadily heavier, beating louder. From sweet affection to wanton lust. He whispered her name, and it sent a violent tremor throughout her skin. It would start in her torso, surging through her, starting the roots of her hair. Her throat made short, hurt sounds. She would usually stop here. An irksome apathy would take hold of her and she would stop. Now, this wasn't like the other times. Catherine felt a hot throbbing at the pit of her stomach. A clench in her body wound her up tighter and tighter, putting her in dangers of release. This was different. This was... Do you love me, Catherine? Guillaume, Her voice came out throaty and thick. Guillaume laid her down on the bed. His fingers slipped easily inside her, the sensation smooth like silk. She felt him moving around inside, pressing on her walls experimentally. It didn't take long for him to find her weakness. He was surprisingly, worryingly adept. Worryingly indeed. Catherine squirmed. She didn't have time to marvel at his expertise. His left hand massaged her breast, while the other tickled the lips of her opening. His little finger patted her other hole. Gulime's lips ran down her shoulder. She barely noticed him slipping another finger inside. When she did, her mind went white for a few seconds. A sharp breath, then a sigh. Her hips were moving on their own while their tongues flickered and danced. Another heart seemed to beat and throb furiously in her groin. She felt for him. She found his shaft stiff under his trousers. She squeezed his stiffness, eager for its girth. Cloth against flesh, soft against heart. Lips and teeth, spit and sweat. Their bodies began to rock together, their breaths were hot and audible. Guillaume dug his tongue on the hollow of her neck. Catherine whined. The soft sounds returned to her lips, but Guillaume covered them with his mouth. Her voice echoed in their heads. She wanted to scream, and the scream would come from very deep. Do you love me? Oh God, I love you, she said in an urgent, desperate frenzy. In and out his fingers went, each time touching her places. With every movement, he seemed to steal her breath. Faster now. Then she twitched and something snapped inside of her. Her toes curled and a squeal escaped through her nose. Catherine opened her eyes. She coughed something alarming as she stared up at him. He didn't look like Guillaume in the shadows, unlit by candlelight. Interesting. His features were the same, his eyes were in the same place. His nose and lips were the same shape. But this man was a stranger. He didn't care for her, like how a snake didn't care for its prey. Interesting, isn't it? For a brief second, she was afraid. A tiny voice told her to run away, but that voice was washed away by a wave of carnal desire. The stranger grinned at Catherine. Mine. Fascinating. So it is the same voice like Guillaume. No, like the Rosa back then. Is it you, Guillaume? Or like you and Rosa both have this kind of voice? Faster now, deeper his kisses went, as if reaching for something inside her. His weight on her body excited her, but it also felt like a prison. Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run! Catherine viciously devoured his lips. Her hands squeezed south, kneading and clutching greedily, her legs wrapped around his waist. A force overtook her. A hunger. Here comes the farmer's gun. She tried to ignore the growing coldness in Guillaume's eye. Growing coldness. She tried to ignore the way her body moved on its own. Run, rabbit! Run, rabbit, run! Her hands found the clasps of his trouser and she undid them. Quickly now. Quickly. She clutched his harness, moving her hand up and down. Catherine's mouth salivated. He bit on her shoulder. She felt more of his teeth than his lips on her body. Catherine scolded herself for being aroused. Her mounting terror only served to aggravate her urge. She wanted this. I want this. She was hungry. I am hungry. She heard a man snicker. He won his farmer pie. So don't send Ali by. Run, rabbit, run. He entered her without warning. Catherine gasped. The shiver was from both pleasure and fear, a dangerous mix. But it was cruel. What's with the rabbit? There was no warmth, just cold, hard greed. And yet she couldn't help but want him. She pushed her hips to move with him. She wanted to please him. Slowly at first, savoring the warmth of this new territory, then faster, keeping a steady pace. Catherine's voice kept in time, her breath were high and hot. With her every movement, Catherine felt her energy with her way. A heady nauseous feeling of malady clawed at her. What was missing? What was taken away? She didn't know what was gone until it was. The final scream of protest died in her mind, the last that was left of her lucidity. The urge to escape left. No more reasons to stop. Catherine moaned. Stop. No, I must not stop. Why did I even think of that? What if he hated her? It was an agonizing thought. She had to give him more. More. His eyes observed her with cold amusement. Catherine touched his chest in reverence. His eyes were cold, but his body was like fire. In her mind's eyes, he had started to become something else. A winged creature engulfed in flame. Both hot, cold, and magnificent. Both beautiful and terrible. Both dark and light. A god. A god, really? At times she would be on bed with a man she might remember she once loved. Other times she would be floating, suspended on a dark chasm of flesh. There was a creature with her, somebody she both loved and adored. Sometimes there were two people. Sometimes there was only him. Only him. The woman called Catherine didn't exist. She was merely an extension of his mind. Soon all of her will be gone little by little, disintegrating to be a part of him forever. Catherine screamed. She came again with that thought. Oh, bliss. Oh, you mean that came, alright. She was prepared to give everything to him. It didn't even seem a worthy sacrifice to lay at his feet. But no, all he asked for was her heart. That small, pathetic thing. It had always been his anyway. She gave it gleefully to the rulers of hearts. He was so generous and considerate, benevolent, fair. She severed his fullness inside her body. She worshipped him. He was her god. Please want me. Please find me pretty. She craved his love above anything else. Above fear and confusion. Above the mourning at something precious lost. Love me, please. Love me. She begged. I'll do anything for you. Anything. Fascinating. His lips did not move, save for a smile. The words simply dropped in her head, echoed and took root. How? Catherine's eyes lost their glimmer. Anything. Then tell me again. I want to hear it. Do you love me, Catherine? Her name on his lip was the only reminder of her former self. I do. I love you. I love you so much. With his words, she felt him stiffen inside her. He moved faster, aroused by her devotion to him. A wave of fire burned her lips as their mouths entwined. His passion heightened, his back arched. Sweat bathed on his forehead and traced his temple. What a wondrous sight. He was eyes beginning to thaw, a sun on the verge of eclipse. His coldness replaced by a radiating heat that melted and fastened her to him like fire with metal. She felt another orgasm threaten her insides. Really? Do you really love me? Yes. She screamed. Yes. The candle fizzled out. Beneath the depths of her hazy mind, she was relieved she didn't have to look at his face. Why? She tastes just like the richest chocolate, the finest wine. I can't stop. My whole body shivers with the taste of her. Her breath on my neck, her fingers scratching at my back. The sound she makes as I push into her. Her lust gives me sustenance to move faster. To devour her faster. Stop. I know waiting so long will be worth it. What are you talking about? That's why the scary music, isn't it? Who are you? This is the heart, by the way, heartbeat, isn't it? I have been her lover for years. And this flower is divine. My head spins. My appetite swells. I can't stop. I bend her hands into a tight grip, push them above her head. Her legs squeeze my waist. I can feel her excitement mounting with her helplessness. I lick my lips in delight. I haven't breathed so deeply for a long time. You're taking too much. Her love is exquisite. It is laced with anger, reverence, disappointment, pain, memories, all different relish and morsels melding into one. Stop it. Her love is a delicacy. You're destroying her. I can't stop myself. I haven't tasted this kind of love for so long. Flirtation and physical attraction can only get me by for so long. I was going to wait. What? There is a waning in her love. Confusion, though. But that helping of guilt tingled the flavor perfectly. I must feed now. Her love is the most perfect tonight. My body wants her. I couldn't stop now even if I wanted to. Liar. And I almost let you escape. To save her. What? And I almost ran away. I love her. I love her. And tomorrow, maybe, what will become of her? I will find another. What? Next time. Something insignificant. I want to relish this taste a bit more. No. No. The mounting pleasure in my bones clamps on my groin. The numbness spread to my stomach. It is almost painful. It goads me to increase my rhythm and she follows my lead. Good girl. Good girl. With every move, I feel her love osmose into my other mouth. She clings to me, her moans louder, her bare chest glisten with sweat. She is beautiful. It wouldn't be long now. A final drawing of breath. Do you love me, Catherine? Give me all your love. All of it. Give it to me. I want it all. It's mine. Mine. Catherine, give me more. I want more. 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 What the hell is happening? Alright, cool. Rosa stood in front of her door to Catherine's room, her hand raised to knock. She hesitated. Oh no, is this the time? That night? The night Catherine and her kissed. That sweet feeling mixed with the horrid feeling of hunger, it tainted it grossly, making Rosa feel sick and confused. What happened? She didn't know what it could have been, but it was both familiar and utterly alien like an instinct. A shiver ran down her spine at the memory. But before that, she must confront Catherine first. She's avoiding me, isn't she? She hadn't seen Catherine for a few days since that night. She had been spending a lot of her time alone, locked away in her room. Whenever Rosa saw her in the chateau, she would excuse herself and leave. Rosa never got the courage to push the issue. But days had passed and Catherine's behavior began to worry her even more. She is selfish just like everyone else. She is probably yeah, probably this. What did you expect? She's selfish just like everybody else. She used you as an experiment, and now that her curiosity is sated, she's done with you. You don't matter to her, you probably never did. Just shut the fuck up. Which is a good thing, darling. You see her true face. No matter. She's never going to love you like Mother does. Like all of the others, she's going to leave you in the end, and then you're all alone. Only Mother will stay with you forever and love you. So be a good child and listen to what I tell you. Rosa bit her lower lip. This was all her fault, wasn't it? She needed to make it right. If Rosa talked to her properly, she was sure they would come to an understanding. She had to explain to her. What exactly? They had both been drunk and then the kisses didn't mean anything? Her stomach churned at his toe. In the end, it didn't matter what Rosa wanted. Catherine obviously regretted what had happened. She didn't want to lose her friends because of a drunken mistake. Rosa gently knocked on Catherine's door. Yeah, you don't... Catherine, may I come in? Please, Catherine, I'm sorry for the mess, but can we talk? Yeah, you didn't want to lose your friend for a drunken mistake, but the problem is... Rosa waited for an answer. You will lose your friend in another way. None came. Rosa turned the handle slowly and entered. Oh no. Oh no. Usually Catherine's room was brightly lit. What have you done, Guillaume? The windows let in a fresh breeze, often carrying the sweet smell of flowers in spring. Right now, however, the curtains were drawn close. The few candles burning on the desk weren't enough to banish the darkness completely. Oh, okay, you're still alive. The air hung heavy in the room, but that is fucking scary. What the fuck is happening there? Catherine didn't turn around when the door was open. She just stood there unmoving in front of the wall. Catherine, what the fuck? This is horrifying. The sound of something scratching along a rough surface filled the air. Are you scratching the wall? Fuck. Rosa felt a shiver around her. Yeah, me too. Her spine at this sound, and her muscle tensed instinctively. She approached Catherine slowly and apprehensively. What the fuck? When she came closer, she could hear that Catherine was whispering the same few words over and over again. He loves me. He loves me not. Catherine giggled. He loves me. He loves me not. Catherine, are you alright? Rosa stepped next to Catherine and peered at her outstretched hand. In the dim light, it took a moment for her to make sense of what she saw. Yeah. Catherine was scratching at the wall. The damage she had done to the walls was nothing compared to what she had done to her fingers. They were dripping with blood from where her skin was cracked and peeled back. Ah. Kath? Oh my god, Catherine, stop. Rosa's guts twisted horribly. What the hell happened to you? What the why do you look like that? She grabbed Catherine's shoulder to turn her around away from the wall. She blinked a couple times before finally reacting to Rosa's presence. Tears welled up in Catherine's bloodshot eyes, and the sight of her friend, spilling over her pale cheeks and chapped lips. She held on tightly to Rosa and started sobbing uncontrollably. Kath, what is going on? Why are you hurting yourself? Catherine tried to pull herself together as best as she could, wiping her nose on the sleeve of her bloody dress. It was heart-wrenching to look at the mess that her friend had become. Oh, Rosa, you need to help me. You need to protect me from him. What? Don't let him touch me. Who? Let him what? Why do you need to protect me? Why do you need me to protect you? Suddenly, Catherine shushed her, a finger to her lips with a scared expression on her face. She leaned an ear towards the door and listened intensely for a moment. What the fuck is happening? Oh, he's here. The scared expression turned into manic and frightening glee. What? I think he's coming. Guillaume, honey. Guillaume, I love you. After yelling the last word, Catherine started sobbing again with more tears streaming down her face. Before Rosa could try to console her, however, her sob faded into hysterical laughter. It barely left time for her to gasp for breath. Oh, Guillaume, I love the way you pull me close to hug me. And how kind you are to everyone you meet. And your eyes. What's going on here? Oh, Guillaume, what's going on here? Guillaume stood in the door, frowning. His eyes wandered across the room and caught sight of Catherine. His face froze in shock. Catherine stared wide-eyed for a second, then she snarled at him like a ferocious animal. "You bastard, get out of my room!" "What?" "Get lost!" She stormed over to the desk and grabbed a letter opener from the table. With his weapon in a firm grip and malice in her eyes, she rushed to Guillaume. "Don't you dare show your face to me!" "Catherine, no!" "Catherine, yes! Do it!" The knife plunged into Guillaume's arm. "Ah, fuck!" Blood quickly stained his sleeves red. But Catherine only recoiled to strike back with no hint of stopping. "Oh my god! Catherine!" They wrestled for a moment until Guillaume was able to grab Catherine's hand. She dropped the letter opener and slumped to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Rosa quickly picked up the blade and stepped out of reach. When she turned around again, Guillaume had already pulled Catherine into a tight embrace. Between her sobs and hiccups, Rosa could hear her apologizing. "Oh god, I'm sorry, Guillaume." "What? I'm so sorry, do you love me?" "Please, Guillaume, do you love me?" She repeated the question over and over again, no matter how many times Guillaume reassured her. It was probably a good idea to find something to calm her down. Rosa didn't feel completely at ease doing so, but she left her friend alone with the Marquis for a few minutes. Later, she returned with a glass of water laced with valerian root. Guillaume had already coaxed Catherine to lie down on her bed while Rosa helped her drink the nightcap. They watched her in silence as she drifted into fitful sleep. Guillaume and Rosa left the room. They didn't speak for a while, both still dazed and shocked by the turn of events. "Really? Shocked, eh, Guillaume? How is your arm?" Guillaume hid the injured arm away from view. "Fine. Just a scratch." The bleeding hadn't stopped yet. Rosa could tell the cut was deeper than Guillaume let on. "What is happening? What has gotten into Catherine?" Guillaume just shrugged with a cold expression of worry in his face. "I wish I knew Rosa. The state she is in scares me, to be honest." "You know! You obviously know. It might be an onset of an episode waiting to happen. Like her sisters before." "Why, indeed?" Rosa's mouth tightened. "How dare you say that? She's not crazy." Rosa searched his face for a trace of lie, but it was like a mask contorted by worry. She couldn't tell whether he was lying or telling the truth. "Did she know what she said to me? She asked me to protect her from you. What did you do to her, Guillaume? Did you hurt her?" "You know I wouldn't. I didn't do anything. All I know is that she is unwell, and I am somehow the target of her psychotic state. That's it. But why?" "Stop. Stop it, Rosa. It hurts me too seeing her like this. Please stop questioning me further. I'm going to call for a physician. Please stay with her in the meantime. See that she doesn't harm herself again." For a moment he met her eyes. Before she could say more, however, he turned around and left. "See if his pants have caught fire yet, child." There was nothing she could do about him for now. Rosa left to get a bowl of fresh water and a towel to tend to Catherine's fingers. Catherine had an uneasy sleep while Rosa cleaned her wounds as best as she could. She muttered, squealed, and whimpered like a child. It seems that she was having a nightmare, but Rosa didn't dare wake her before the physician arrived. Instead, she stroked her head, told her that everything would be alright. She tried to appease the growing confusion of voices in her head. What had happened between Catherine and Guillaume? This is a long chapter, by the way. Their relationship was often erratic, but Rosa dismissed the possibility that this was one of their usual fights. Rosa remembered Catherine's face filled with utter spite at the man. She had never seen that much hatred in Catherine. After a few minutes, Catherine's eyelids fluttered open. She looked around with some confusion, then her gaze settled on Rosa. Tears welled up in her eyes. Rosa held her outstretched hand. Her heart broke when she saw Catherine wince. "Oh, Rosa, I'm so scared. Everything is such a mess." "It's going to be alright, Kath. Don't worry now. Just try to sleep some more." "No, you don't understand." Catherine tried to sit up, but Rosa pushed her down gently. You need rest, Kath. I hate him. This is all his fault. She sniffed but settled down on her pillow once more. When she spoke again, it was in a whisper. Rosa, She chewed down on her dry, chapped lips for a moment, as if she couldn't get the words out. I don't think I love him anymore. What? A dry sob escaped her, followed by tears rolling down her cheeks. Had Catherine really just said that? But I didn't understand this. When I think of him, Her voice cracked. She shuddered under the blanket like an ill breeze had just sprung up in the room. It's like bugs are crawling under my skin. I can barely look at him anymore, I just can't. I can't even say his name. Why? Do you remember when exactly you started feeling this way? That night, Rosa winced. Catherine covered her face with her hands. It was a horrible night. Why? Rosa's just hurt. Was this her fault? She didn't know what she had done, but didn't she do something to her? I'm sorry. Catherine went on like she hadn't hurt her. I went to his room. We spent the night together. Rosa waited for Catherine to continue, but the girl stared blankly. She just stopped speaking as if forgetting she ever spoke at all. Kath, did he hurt you that night? No. Maybe? Fascinating. Perhaps some magic that interfere with memory? Catherine shook her head. I don't know. She grabbed her head and sobbed. The grip on Rosa's heart tightened. Heart tightened. How can this be? Her eyes drowned in tears. I love him, Rosa, don't I? I remember everything. I love him, I know I do. I'm sure I do. But I hate him too, to the very core. I want to hurt him and punish him for something. I want to snuff out the breath from his throat. But sometimes Catherine's eyes went blank. I just don't care for him at all. Sometimes I feel nothing. Nothing at all. What? And that scares me more. She lay in the bed quiet now, letting the tears flow out of her eyes without wiping them. I'm going mad, Rosa. Catherine. I am Arnai. Like my sister. Like my mother. It runs in our blood. No. They said I'm a child of a mad woman. They said I'm going to turn out exactly like her. Rosa shook her head and tried her best to soothe her, saying that everything will be alright. They were empty words, but she didn't know what else to say. She wanted them to be true so badly, for her friend's sake as well as her own. Was Guilherme really the cause of Catherine's confusion and pain? Yeah, I think. Pangs of guilt prickled her like tiny needles. Or was this her fault? Rubbish, you fool! This is all his fault, I can feel it. We must get to the bottom of this. Yes, mother. Rosa looked down on her best friend and nodded slightly to herself. Everything will be alright, Catherine, I promise. She will make it alright somehow. Somehow, eh? Wow, no. She had to. The physician arrived shortly, but he did little to help Catherine. Catherine never regained her personality. She remained moody and irritable, breaking out into fits of hysterical laughter or heartbreaking sob at seemingly random intervals. Guillaume and Rosa would take turns to tend to her. Her moods fluctuate, her tempers uncontrollable. There were times she begged for attention from Guillaume, almost clinging to him in despair, never letting him out of her sight. Other times she couldn't stand his very presence. Soon neither Guillaume nor Rosa could console her anymore. She withdrew entirely from the household, and from life apparently. She starved herself, stopped eating, stopped caring for herself. What the hell happened? Her manic episodes degraded to long stretches of blank silence. Emptiness ruled her life. Looking at her eyes in those last days, it was like a fire had been snuffed out behind them. Like a star that had been shining through had imploded. Yes, Psyche, chapter 5. Wow, that is a very long chapter, as I said. Alright, so I really enjoy reading Cupid VN. I'm really curious at how the story goes. Anyway, yeah, that's all. What happened to you, Catherine? I guess, yeah, see you later then in the next episode. Chapter, bye bye.